In this video, we are going to be going over polynomial long division. All right, so maybe you've seen this before, maybe you haven't. It can be a little bit intimidating at first, but what's really important is that we start off just by recognizing that it's the same exact thing as that regular algebra long division that you were doing throughout elementary and middle school. All right, so let's just start off with one of those problems just so we can kind of refamiliarize ourselves with this long division process. All right, so we're doing 83,752 divided by 45. All right, so we start off and we say, well, let's do 83 divided by 45, right? How many times can 83 go into 45? And that's just once. Okay, so then we multiply 1 times 45, which is 45, and we write that down below. Then we subtract 83 minus a 45, that's going to be 38. And then we bring down that next value. So we have 387. Let's see, how many times does 45 go into that? Well, let's see, 2 times 45 is 90. And then we could multiply that by another 4 to get to 360. So that would be 8 times. Then remember, 8 times 45 is 360. Subtract, we get 27. We bring down the 5. All right, how many times does 45 go into 275? Well, that's going to go in 6 times. And that would be 270. Subtract, we get 5. Bring down the 2, we have 52. Oh, how many times does 45 go into 52? Just once. 1 times 45 is 45. Sorry, I'm running out of room here. I subtract and I'm left with 7. Well, what do I do now? I can't do 7 divided by 45. Well, 7 is just my remainder. So I could say that this is 1,861 and 7/45. So I'm left with still 7/45. All right. And we're going to use the same exact process as we work through polynomial long division. All right, the same exact process. Let's start ourselves off with an example here. So I'm doing 2x squared minus 3x plus 5 divided by x minus 2. So 2x squared minus 3x plus 5 divided by x minus 2. So we start off by dividing first terms. Okay, divide first terms. 2x squared divided by x is just 2x. All right, then multiply 2x times x minus 2. Right, we multiply and then we write that below. So 2x times x minus 2, well, that's 2x squared, minus 4x. All right, and then we are going to subtract that from what's up above. What's really important here is that we make sure we put parentheses around this and then that subtraction sign out in front. The main mistake that people make with polynomial long division is that they forget to put this parentheses around and then they do, oh, negative 3x minus 4x gives me negative 7x. Well, it's negative 3x minus a negative 4x. So we're really adding the 4x there. All right, so negative 3x minus a negative 4x or plus 4x leaves me with 1x. Of course, this 2x squared minus 2x squared just gives me 0x squared, so that cancels out. Good, that's what I want. All right, I want to get rid of that first term. Okay. So now that I've completed the subtraction, great, I'm going to drop down my next term. So I drop down that plus 5. Then I do x divided by x. Well, x divided by x is just 1. Then multiply. 1 times x minus 2 is just x minus 2. And of course, we're subtracting all of that. So x minus x, that cancels out. Good, we want that. 5 minus a negative 2. Well, that's 5 plus 2, which gives me a positive 7. Of course, if we try to do 7 divided by x minus 2, that's not going to work. So 7 is our remainder here. All right, so we just put plus our remainder over that original, so divided by x minus 2. So in the end, the way that we like to write these problems is that we write them, it's called a summary statement. All right, so write it as a summary statement. You would just say, well, going back up here, 2x squared minus 3x plus 5 divided by x minus 2 equals 2x plus 1 plus 7 over x minus 2. That is your summary statement. All right, and that is your final answer. All right, so before we show 2 more examples, let's just kind of break this down into some simpler steps for ourselves. All right, so the first step, the first thing that we did was we divided the first terms. Okay, so divide the first terms and write the answer above. Divide first terms, write answer above it. Okay, and answer I just wrote as ANS. All right, and remember that's the same exact thing that we would be doing with regular algebraic long division, right? How many times does 45 go into 83? Once. All right, we write that answer above. Then we multiply 1 times 45. Here we multiply 2x times x minus 2. So divide, then we are going to multiply. Multiply. We could say multiply the term above by term to the left. Okay, multiply the term above by the term to the left. And write that answer below. Answer below. Include parentheses. All right, that's really important. Include the parentheses. All right, and then we're just going to subtract. So again, this should be really similar to the steps that you are used to with algebraic long division. Subtract, bring down next term. All right, if we can follow these simple steps, we will be good to go. All right, let's jump into our next example here. All right, as we do this next example, and I'm sure that I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to try and write a little bit smaller as I go through this. So what we notice here is we start off with x to the 4th, and then we immediately jump down to x squared. One of my main recommendations here, guys, and we're going to see this as we learn synthetic division soon, okay, is that we want to include a placeholder for that x cubed term. So I write it as 3x to the 4th plus 0x cubed. Right? We don't have an x cubed term up here, so plus 0x cubed, that just kind of holds the place of x cubed. Then minus 6x squared plus 5x plus 9, and we of course are dividing that by x plus 2. So we start off 3x to the 4th divided by x plus 2, or sorry, just divided by x, right? Divide first terms. That's 3x cubed. Then multiply 3x cubed times x plus 2. Well, 3x cubed times x is 3x to the 4th. We can see those are going to cancel. Great. Then 3x cubed times 2 is plus 6x cubed. All right, now we subtract. Well, 3x to the 4th minus 3x to the 4th cancels. 0x cubed minus 6x cubed is a negative 6x cubed. Then we bring down our negative 6x squared. Great. Negative 6x cubed divided by x is just a negative 6x squared. Multiply negative 6x squared times x plus 2. That's negative 6x cubed minus 12x squared. And we will subtract. Negative 6 minus a negative 6 cancels. Negative 6 minus a negative 12, or negative 6 plus 12, gives me 6x squared. I'll bring down my plus 5x. 6x squared divided by x is just plus 6x. Multiply 6x times x plus 2. That's 6x squared plus 12x. And, of course, put that in parentheses and subtract. 5x minus 12x is a negative 7x. Bring down our plus 9. Negative 7x divided by x is negative 7. Multiply negative 7 times x plus 2. That's negative 7x minus 14. And then subtract negative 7 minus negative 7 cancels. 9 minus a negative 14. That's 9 plus 14, which is 23. 23 is just my remainder, so plus 23 over x plus 2. So we get 3x to the fourth minus 6x squared plus 5x plus 9 is equal to 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus 6x minus 7 plus 23 over x plus 2. All right, hope that this helped you guys out. Best of luck as you go through the work on polynomial long division.